Hey guys, Ash here from C4EApps along with my co-host Sundar, and welcome to another episode of Ash Answers.
Ash Answers is a show where we answer the questions that you ask on Twitter using the hashtag AshAnswers.
So without further ado, let's get to the questions.
Will it affect the brand value of OnePlus after this cheating in benchmarks?
Well, the brand value per se, I'm not really sure, but the trust that consumers have on OnePlus, that is it's a little questionable over here. Whether it's the lossless zoom aspect of things, wherein it was 1.6 and then they made it out to look as 2x, or again the benchmark manipulations. So if you've seen our coverage of the OnePlus 5, we like the phone. It's fast, it's fluid, it's a great phone. But why do they have to do these little things, tinker around with stuff? So given the performance of the OnePlus 5, they didn't really have to mess around with the benchmarks. The fact that they did is it just leaves a bad taste in the mouth. I'm not sure if that's going to affect the brand value of the phone, but it is what it is. They did something, they got caught for it. They shouldn't have done it, especially for a phone like for a phone with a 650 or a 660, I could understand a brand doing it. They want to make it look better than it is. But over here, it's got an excellent chip, and already Oxygen OS is a great user interface. It doesn't really it isn't very heavy, so the performance, as you've seen from our speed tests, has been good. So they shouldn't have done it.
Yeah. Is OnePlus losing its charm as the flagship killer by increasing its price and lowering customer service, and Xiaomi taking its place with the Mi6?
Yeah, this is a long answer, and like, oh my god, why this question? It should have been. So guys, first off, if I sound weird, I've got a sore throat. I've been running a temperature for the last, I don't know, day and a half. I just got out of bed like 30 minutes back, and I'm going right back to bed once I'm done shooting this video. So if my energy levels messed up, it is what it is. I'm not working. I'm not supposed to be. But then after the endless amount of hate that he and Harris got for shooting the last Ash Answers, I was left with no choice but to actually drag my butt out of bed to shoot this. So anyway, coming back, see, the fact is, has OnePlus flagships, as in the OnePlus phones, have the prices increased? Yes. Has there been a proportional increase overall? Yes. But is the OnePlus 5, like, relative to a Samsung phone, relative to the Samsung flagship, is the OnePlus 5 priced higher than the OnePlus One was? Hell yes. But are there alternatives to the OnePlus 5 today in that segment? Nope. And for those...
He says Mi6, but Mi6 is not
available in India, at least not yet. So if the Mi6 came into India and if they were selling it at, say, 27,000 rupees, then yes, there is an alternative, and at that point maybe OnePlus loses its charm. But now, they still aren't expensive. It's still providing us great bang for the buck, good value for money. It just isn't providing us as much value for money as it was a few years back. So it's still a great value. So I can't really be pissed at the brand for it. Would I like a cheaper OnePlus 5? Hell yes, I would like a cheaper, we would like cheaper anything. That is as an end consumer, I'd like cheaper things. But given that it's still, relatively lower price than all phones in the market, I wouldn't say it's losing its charm, at least until, say, something like the Mi6 comes in.
Even marketing-wise, OnePlus does a better job.
Then what?
Xiaomi.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. See, Xiaomi doesn't really spend on marketing.
Yeah.
OnePlus seems to these days. Maybe that's why their pricing has gone up. Again, you can't fault a brand for the marketing part of things, but I don't know. I'd rather have a brand that markets stuff and gives me stocks that I can buy than a brand that doesn't market stuff.
Yeah,
and
definitely. Why is Sundar not doing speed tests anymore? Actually, I am. No. Hashtag hype.
Yeah, so he's doing one speed test, but then this is what it is, right, guys? As of when the OnePlus 5, we got the OnePlus 5 under embargo, and somebody had to keep putting content on the channel, and that was me. I was working on content on a day-to-day basis on the channel, while Harris and Sundar were working on content that was to go live after the OnePlus 5 came out. So Sundar was doing the camera comparisons and Harris was doing the speed tests, and I was working on the day-to-day stuff, right? Your S3 unboxing, as in Tab S3, and your Nokia 3s and stuff like that. So that's why Sundar didn't do the speed tests, and I really don't think, I mean, if we get another phone under embargo, it's gonna be, if we split the workload, this is how things are gonna be.
Yeah, maybe if Harris is not available, then I might.
Then Sundar would do the speed test, and I'll have to take over the camera comparisons. In which case, the week leading up to the launch of the phone, we would not have videos on all days, because if I'm working on something else, then there wouldn't be somebody to create content on that day. So it's just a managing of workloads.
Honestly, do we really need 8 GB of RAM in a smartphone?
Well, like last year, like this year when Samsung came out, or even last year when the Pixel came out with 4 gigs of RAM, there were so many people who were like 67,000 rupees and only 4 gigs of RAM. Okay, and 2 years back when the Zenfone 2 came out with 4 gigs of RAM, we had people questioning, is 4 gigs of RAM required on a smartphone? And today when the S8 in its speed test loses RAM management to the OnePlus 5, you know, we see people going, you're stupid, you're comparing the 4GB variant to the 6GB variant, that's stupid. Okay, the fact that the S8 Plus is still priced almost 2x doesn't seem to matter. So there you go, people justifying the fact, the need for 6 gigs of RAM. So in the same vein of things, in a couple of years, we'd be looking back going, why did you compare the 8GB RAM phone with the 12GB RAM phone, 8 reloaded Asphalt 9, just because it only had 8 gigs of RAM, and that would still be Samsung logic, you know? So as far as technology is concerned, we are gonna go one way, that's forward. There is no going backwards. So 8 gigs of RAM, we'd probably see 12 next or 16 in the future, and that's how it's gonna be, whether we need it or not. It is not mandatory, if that's your question, but I mean, for a price difference of how much? 5,000 rupees?
Yeah.
33 and 38. They could just double the storage and price it 5,000 higher, because Apple doubled storage and prices it 10,000 higher. And OnePlus could do that, and we wouldn't really, I mean, it would still, it wouldn't be optimal, but it still wouldn't be like very bad if they do it. So here we are getting 2 gigs extra RAM, so hey.
Why not? Chances of having a 120Hz display on iPhone 8 or iPhone X?
It's iPhone
probably. We've got the 120Hz display on the latest iPad Pro 10.5, so we might see it on the iPhone 8. There are chances. Since you love phones with stylus, are you eagerly waiting for Note 8? But it's 6.4 inches.
Yeah, if it's 6.4 inches, I'm guessing it's gonna be more, what do you say?
Wider than the S8 Plus?
No, it's gonna be kind of similar to the S8 Plus.
Okay, yes. S8 Plus is 6.28. So
6.2.
Tad wider.
Tad wider, yeah. So for the Note series with the stylus, I wouldn't really mind it. Note's always been a bigger, the stylus kind of makes it easy to use. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the Note 8 within the price tag. The rumored price tag seems like kind of ridiculous. But then yeah, 70,000+.
If Mi6 launches in India at 28K, your pick between the both of them?
I would say go with, I mean, there are going to be two, see, cameras, speed and all this. It's like, unless you're pitting them side by side, you aren't really going to see a lot of difference. The only major, I mean, headphone jack is going to be one more thing you could see. Optical image stabilization, headphone jack, these are going to, again, not really make a huge difference to the buying mentality. I would say, how much is that 5,000 rupees worth for you? Do you want a larger display or a smaller display? Do you want stock OS
or a heavier phone?
Or no,
of course,
stock firmware,
yeah,
close to stock Oxygen OS or heavily skinned MIUI. So if you're somebody who wants stock Android and are happy with a 5.5-inch display, I'd say go with the OnePlus 5. Forget the fact that it looks like an iPhone or whatever. The negatives can be ignored, because end of the day, when you use the size of the display and the fluidity of it, the ease with, I mean, how easy it is for you to get familiar with the user interface is what makes
it might look like an iPhone, but it's actually faster than the iPhone.
Yeah.
iPhone 7 available for 42K, whereas it was launched at 60K. So can we say Apple is going on HTC, LG or Sony's way?
So once is an aberration, twice is a coincidence, and 3 times is a pattern. So this is once for Apple. This is the first time they've done it. In the past, they've dropped prices, but then that's after the next phone has come out. So this time, the 60K pricing was like a crossover estimation. They shouldn't have priced it the way they priced it. So which means, given the amount of unsold stocks, I guess they had to drop prices eventually. But then again, Apple, I don't see them doing it again. The iPhone 8 might launch in India at a more sensible price tag, meaning they might not have to cut down prices. I mean, don't expect a 40K launch, but maybe around 55, whatever. They haven't done that in the past, right? Drop prices this way.
No, they have never done that, but rumors say it might come with a $1,000 price tag.
Okay.
Which means it might be priced at around 75-80,000 here. Maybe.
I don't know if it has.
I don't see any price drop soon.
Not about price drops, I'm just talking about how sensible the pricing could be.
Okay.
So if they're going with something like an infinity display and whatever, I don't know, if there's value to what they are bringing, then maybe a 70K price tag might work. But then, as in, this was $650 in the US and $60,000 in India. So that's, if that's going to be $1,000 in the US, 75,000 might be sensible, but $1,000 on a lakh in India, that's the kind of conversion that happened this time, right? So I don't see, if they'll launch it at 1,000 in the US, I don't see them bringing it to India at a lakh. That's what I was saying. Does the OnePlus 5 have the best-in-class camera? Does any other smartphone under 33K, can anything else beat it?
So here's the Mi6 versus OnePlus 5 camera comparison. I wouldn't exactly say the Mi6 defeated the OnePlus 5.
It's on par, it has certain advantages.
Yeah, pros and cons. Comes down to your personal preference.
Yeah, the Honor 8 Pro might do well though.
Okay.
It's a 30K, around 30K expected. And I really think that could give the OnePlus 5 a run for its money. But then we got the Honor 8 Pro just like on the date of the launch, as in on the 22nd. So we haven't had the time to, 21st rather, we haven't had the time to pit those two against each other, but we might eventually do it. We will probably do it, I don't know, we are just trying to figure out, we could possibly do it and see how things work. The Honor 8 Pro might be one that can compete with the OnePlus 5.
Does Samsung DeX work with devices other than the S8 like OnePlus 5?
Nope.
No. Why don't you attend launch events? By doing it, you will be able to travel to different cities and you can arrange a fan meet.
Yeah, again, it boils down to the same thing that I was telling you, right? Work. I mean, getting the content out. Fan meets are great, but then we need to be creating content to get the fans in the first place, right? So, yeah, as great as it could be. And again, coming back to launch events, it's always in Delhi, mostly in Delhi, and sometimes in Bangalore, rarely Bangalore or Mumbai, but it's always in Delhi. So how many fan meets do you organize in Delhi over and over again? I mean, not that we've organized any till date, but I'm sorry about that. So it just boils down to the amount of time that we can actually take off work, and which as of now hasn't been great. So hopefully we can organize fan meets. Launch events, I'm just not that interested, because what is there to do? As in, if they give us the unit under embargo, that's cool. If they're not giving us the unit under embargo, what's the point of attending it? What are we going to do there? If it's like a global first, then I can understand traveling to the launch and then getting some hands-on footage over there. But most of the phones, most of the launches in India are not global firsts. Yeah. So if it's not a global first, what's the point? I mean, the hands-on videos are already there. So what are you going to go there and do? And when they're announcing the phone, you already know the specs. You already know what they're talking about because you've already seen the global launch event. So what's the point of being there? And when somebody says, it comes with the 835 chip, and you go, yay, that, oh my God, that is so surprising. But no, as somebody working in the tech space, I mean, you already know it, right?
Yeah, price would be the only new thing.
Price would be the only new thing, yes. But even those get leaked. Thank you, Amazon.
If OnePlus 3 never existed, would we witness 6 GB RAM variants of the S8 or the LG G6?
G6 has 6 gigs?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so, but I think we might have still seen 6 gigs of RAM because China isn't a market where OnePlus does great. I mean, they're okay, but China is all Oppo, not OnePlus. But even in China, Samsung did launch the C9 Pro, and that was C series is basically developed for China and then kind of tinkered around with for India. So Samsung have been experimenting with that stuff. So yeah, to an extent, yes, OnePlus kind of pushed that RAM 6 gigs of RAM thing. Like say for example, somebody like Xiaomi might not have gone with 6 gigs across variants for the Mi6. So that way, yes, but somebody like Samsung, we'd always have seen 6 gigs of RAM eventually. So it might have accelerated it a little bit, but it isn't the only reason.
When Lenovo didn't fulfill their promise, Ash shot a specific video for that. Can you at least give a shout out for OnePlus 2 Nougat?
Hey OnePlus, where's the Nougat update? Please, Nougat for OnePlus 2.
Yeah, and here's a video of that benchmark.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he actually mentioned the OnePlus 2
I did over there as well.
From where do you get your WWE T-shirts?
I get it from Extreme Wrestling Shirts or T-shirts.com. I don't know either of that, and eBay.com.
Why the OnePlus 5 didn't sell out in minutes? Is that because nobody's interested? Because most of the other flash sale phones are sold in seconds.
Most of the flash sale phones you see are like Redmi's that are
10,000,
10K and 8K, and that's always
12K.
a larger demographic. And maybe OnePlus had more phones, maybe at this demographic not a lot of people wanted to buy it, and it's not a great upgrade over the OnePlus 3T, right? The 3T is still a hell of a phone. So even OnePlus's own fans who own a 3 or a 3T might not be rushing out to upgrade to the 5 just yet. So these might be reasons. Again, this is all speculation. It's not like
and
we have
even
the
if they
numbers.
do, expecting a 33,000 rupee phone to sell out in minutes is something we may not be able to do.
That's why even a Xiaomi, the Mi5, once they went past the 20K price, they really had a lot more open sales for those phones than flash sales.
In future, which new feature will be followed by mobile manufacturers other than bezel-less displays?
True wireless charging.
True wireless.
So wherein you don't have to place it on something and you just have it close by and it gets charged wirelessly. Probably that, or more modularity that's easier to sell, like gimmicky.
Iris scanners. And the IR sensor is dying.
Yeah.
Does YouTube algorithm have anything to do with the dropping viewership on your channel? I'm sure it's a concern.
Not really. I wouldn't really call it dropping viewership. I mean, are we growing slower than other people are? Probably yes, but did we have millions of ads run for us? We didn't. So if you think advertising doesn't make a difference, it actually does. So that's one. And secondly, our turnaround times for reviews hasn't been great. That's from our end, and I've already mentioned that that's something we are working on. So it's just a combination of these, and we're still growing. I mean, last year we had a 2x viewership compared to the year before, and now as of June and before the OnePlus viewership hike, even then we are doing 150% of what we did in 2016. So growth is slower, yes, but it's still growth. So yeah.
What's the one color option that you would love to have on all upcoming phones, like the red iPhone or Coral Blue S7 Edge?
The Sundar yellow t-shirt.
So
Sundar t-shirt yellow. I like yellow phones. I'm just weird that way.
Lumia 920.
Yeah.
He loves the phone, and he had a really ugly yellow skin on his S7 Edge.
I did. And it really
So I actually bought it from him, the S7 Edge, and actually the first thing I did after buying it was peel that off.
Nah, he didn't. I peeled it off before I gave it to him.
Whatever. I would have done it anyway.
Yeah, right. because I mean that's easier for him to crack the phone. I mean, the OnePlus 3T that he borrowed from me, he wanted to borrow for a week, but then ended up having it for a few months till I snapped it back. He dropped it like 3 times in front of me, in the office. Yeah, had I said 2 times, you would have said once, but then now me saying 3 times, meaning you actually admit to twice. So, and then it's always, let's blame it on the brand. The build quality wasn't good.
OnePlus fan. I don't trust Lenovo though.
Trust Lenovo, don't trust them. For the build quality, not for updates.
If I have the budget for S8, but I need OnePlus 5's portrait mode too, should I go for OnePlus 5? My answer would be yes.
My answer would be, what do you want?
Exactly.
If you want if the infinity display doesn't mean anything to you, if water resistance doesn't mean anything to you, if the overall superior optics doesn't mean anything to you, but you're just stuck on the portrait mode, and of course the much snappier user experience and the faster 830, not faster, but overall lighter UI resulting in an overall faster user experience, if that's what you want and you're willing to save some money on the side buying it, then the OnePlus 5 would work. So kind of boils down to what is it that you want.
Yeah. If it's just the camera, then in daylight and indoors there's not going to be a lot of difference.
But low light
S8
blows it away.
Yeah, blows it away. And for personal usage, if you don't shoot a lot of pictures under low light, then yeah, why do you need an S8? I mean, just from the camera perspective. Want to see, other than mobiles, some series of budget headphones, earphones under 1,000. What to buy, something like that. We've already done one.
Yeah.
And we are looking to make a few more videos too. I'll be working on that later.
So you can expect it in about 9 months.
Not exactly.
8.5.
Maybe.
You don't want to leave a card here.
Okay, because he wants.
Yeah, you don't have to.
It's okay. Is OIS really a necessity in smartphone cameras, or does EIS with less aperture, wider aperture, compensate for the absence of OIS?
It can compensate for to an extent with regards to low light shooting. When you have, say, a f2.2 with OIS and a f1.7 with EIS, it might EIS doesn't matter with low light shooting, but it might compensate to an extent. But OIS for videos is very important. Having OIS for videos makes it a lot more smoother. EIS, even with the best phone for EIS, the Pixel XL, the stability there is not as good. Because you have some frame skipping and stuff.
Stability is excellent. It's just
the frame skipping. The frame skipping that comes from software handling the stabilization isn't great. And there's some jitter when you actually crop in and see. So the video OIS is always superior.
And even for low light photography.
For low light, yeah, to an extent. Because
there is actually a significant difference. When I was shooting the OnePlus 5 versus 3T camera comparison, the shutter speed was significantly lower on the OnePlus 3T.
Okay, but which pictures were better?
I mean, at some...
exactly, that's what I'm saying. The 5 can still do better because it has a wider aperture for shots.
Yeah.
So, for low light shooting...
it was a hit or a miss, like, not always, but a few times.
That's what I'm saying. The wider aperture can compensate at times for low light. But then when it comes to video, there's no option.
Yeah.
Video OIS flat out wins.
How many push-ups can you both take?
How many can you?
5.
I can do like 15 at max, as in 10 to 15.
Best phone under 15K. Preference, performance and camera. G5 Plus. Yeah, and if you're willing to go a little higher, the Honor 8 is available for 18 or 19K, I'm not sure.
Yeah, Honor 8 would be much better.
It's a steal. Do you own a fidget spinner?
Nope.
No, I have one on my phone, the app.
Yeah, he uses his phone as fidget spinners.
There is a considerable amount of iOS device users. Why is there no content regarding iOS devices? We are people who have both iPhones and Android. C4EApps should come back. 3 Android apps and 2 iOS apps every week. I know you all have been busy with Tamil channel too. It's just a request.
So yeah, first off, c4etech@gmail.com is not our mail address. Okay, so do not try to mail that address. We don't know who has it. Secondly, again, 3 Android apps and 2 iOS apps won't work because most of what's on Android is also on iOS. So, but then again, eventually...
The user interface might vary.
Yeah, but then do you really think you do a 5-app video where you go, the first app is this for Android, the second app is this for iOS?
Of course not that way. Of course not that way. Or separate videos for iOS and Android.
Yeah, so that's the long-term plan. We would eventually like to bring C4EApps back, but as of now, we don't have the time. Again, that's the reason why Sundar is not part of C4EApps Tamil, right? Because I am the only one who works on C4EApps Tamil. We've got another guy who handles that entirely. And I was never, I haven't done C4EApps in a long time. So for me, it takes me exactly 25 minutes to, maybe 35 minutes to revoice over in Tamil and then change the final edit to sync with the Tamil audio. So that's the amount of extra work that I do, barring, of course, checking other people's work and making sure that's fine. So the Tamil channel isn't really interfering with this. It's just that we don't have the time because, like I said earlier, right now the priority, the focus is on shortening those turnaround times from unboxing to review. So that's the focus right now. And of course, coming up with other content that people want to watch, like the speed tests and camera comparisons that you guys have long been asking for, but we haven't had the time and manpower to get that done. So this time we've managed to get it out. So let's see.
Do you think OnePlus is walking away from their objective of offering high-end specs in affordable price? OnePlus 5 at 38K, isn't it too much?
OnePlus 5, 128 gig storage, 8 gigs of RAM, 38K, Snapdragon 835. What's the next cheapest 835 phone in India? Nothing.
Nothing.
So people are, it's very, there are a lot of people who come up and say, oh my god, LG G6 is available at 40. Instead of buying the OnePlus 5 at 33, I'd rather get a LG G6 at 40. But then if you look at it, the G6 is an 821 device, right? If you're okay buying an 821 device, then you're looking at the OnePlus 3T as a comparison, which is a 28, which is like a whole 12 grand cheaper, 27, 28, 29, 30, 29, 29,999.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
664. There's only one variant. Yeah. So it's a 30. So that's like a whole 10K cheaper than of course the G6 has its other advantages like its version of the Infinity display and the dual camera to the back, as in the wide angle stuff. So I don't dispute that. I'm just saying OnePlus is as expensive as they've gotten, they still are offering the best bang for the buck. And until and unless, if they keep hiking up their prices, of course, that's just going to leave room for another brand like OnePlus to come in and offer great brand value for money. And if Xiaomi actually brought the Mi6 to India, then the answer to your question would be yes, they are moving away from it and they aren't offering the best value for money. But till the Mi6 lands in India or any other brand comes with that kind of specs at that kind of money, it doesn't, I mean, OnePlus is still offering the best value for money in India. So guys, those are all the questions that we've picked. There are a few that I kind of ended up passing on because if you've noticed, my throat is getting worse, and so sorry about that. If you hated this video, you know what to do. If you did like it, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already. If you're already subscribed, hit that bell icon to make sure you get notified for
do this to make sure you get notified each time a video goes live on the channel.
You want to edit this, right?
No.
Okay, then now say it my way.
Hit that bell icon right under this video.
Yeah, so
to get updates.
Notified for the updates.
To get notified of the updates for every video I upload on the channel.
Which channel?
C4ETech.
So yeah. What else?
Thanks a lot for watching. Can you do the outro?
Yeah. So thanks a lot for watching. Till next time.
This here is Sundar with Ash, leaving for the moment.
Have a nice day.
That puts a smile on his face.
Yes, it
easily.
does. Yes, it does.
No matter what state he is in.
So yeah, so guys, before we actually close this out, I've been like, I just got on the computer a little while back. I haven't been checking comments for a bit, and we've seen so many comments with regards to how Harris's fingers are faster on the OnePlus 5 in the speed tests and slower on everything else. Now, for everybody who have a problem with it, go and watch those videos again. The OnePlus 5's transitions are fast enough that it just keeps running through apps, so of course his fingers look faster. With other phones, between every single tap, he's got to wait for the app to open up or close, so of course he looks slower doing it. So, and for all those people who are calling us biased and paid by a brand, please make up your mind if we are being paid by OnePlus or if we are being paid to discredit OnePlus. Because the moment I broke the news about OnePlus cheating in benchmarks, I had a bucket load of OnePlus fanboys accusing me of being paid by Samsung to discredit OnePlus. And then once the S8 versus OnePlus 5 speed test broke, then we were supposed to have been paid by OnePlus to discredit Samsung. So just make up your mind who's paying us, or if Samsung, OnePlus, somebody is watching and you want to pay us for either video, that would be awesome. I mean, I could probably use that. I don't know. Whatever. So that's that. And since we actually added this, we're going to go back to leaving for the moment again.
Didn't I already say it?
No. We actually added stuff after that, so you need to do the outro
so
again.
That's it. Thanks a lot for watching. This is Sundar. So you don't wanna to do it.
Yeah, you can.
This is Sundar and Ash from C4EApps leaving for the moment.
Have a nice day. Bye bye.